To absolutely crush the AB 900 exam and really grasp Microsoft 365 administration, you've got to master the foundations: security, identity, and compliance. Because, well, these are the crucial baselines ensuring your users, devices, and data are totally locked down before you even think about deploying advanced AI tools like Copilot.
Section 1. Foundations of Microsoft 365.
Okay, think of Microsoft 365 security like a highly secure corporate building. You've got security guards checking IDs at the front desk, special swipe badges for VIP floors, and heavy locked filing cabinets for sensitive paperwork. In our digital world, managing this building relies on three main tools. First up, Microsoft Entra. That's your ID badge system, handling identity and access management. Then we have Microsoft Purview. That's your locked filing cabinet, governing data compliance and content protection. Finally, Microsoft Intune is your security guard checking everyone's gear, managing the actual devices and their health. For the AB 900 exam, it is absolutely crucial to know that configuring these three baseline tools is what keeps Exchange, SharePoint, and Teams secure.
Section 2. Managing Device Access Policies.
Imagine a bouncer at a super exclusive club. Before they unhook that velvet rope, they're checking two things: your ID and whether you meet the dress code, right? Well, managing device access policies works exactly the same way. Step 1 is making sure the device meets the dress code, which we call device compliance. This is entirely enforced by Microsoft Intune. Intune checks if the device meets your minimum security standards. We're talking things like having a recent OS version, active antivirus, password complexity, or encryption like BitLocker. If it passes, Intune marks its status as compliant. This is literally the cornerstone of secure access management, drastically reducing the chance of a data breach from a compromised laptop or phone. So once a device is marked compliant, Microsoft Entra ID steps up to evaluate the actual access request. This is where zero trust principles come into play. Basically, we don't automatically trust any connection. Entra ID uses a conditional access policy based on the device's state. So if a user tries to open Microsoft Teams, Entra ID steps in and checks if the device is compliant, and maybe if it's hybrid Azure AD joined, which just means it's a known corporate asset. If it's not, no way, access is denied. This layered approach guarantees your sensitive communication tools are only being touched by trustworthy endpoints. But what if your organization lets employees use their personal phones? We see this all the time. This is where app protection policies save the day. Unlike device compliance, which manages the entire phone, app protection operates strictly at the application level. It secures corporate data inside specific apps like Outlook or Teams without needing full control over the user's personal device. It's a total game changer for bring your own device or BYOD setups. An admin can literally set a policy that stops an employee from copying text out of a corporate email and pasting it into their personal Instagram or Twitter. Now, app protection policies also defend against compromised operating systems, and you definitely need to know the difference between these two specific terms for the exam. A rooted device typically refers to an Android smartphone where the user has modified it to gain privileged or root control, usually to bypass carrier restrictions. On the flip side, a jailbroken device usually refers to an iOS device that's been modified to remove manufacturer restrictions. Both of these actions completely strip away built-in security features, making them super vulnerable. The cool thing is, app protection policies can be set to automatically block access to Microsoft 365 apps the second a device is detected as rooted or jailbroken. Section 3. Configuring conditional access. So how do we dynamically enforce all these rules? Think about airport security. Normally, you just walk through the scanner, right? But if you flew in from a specific high-risk location or your ticket gets flagged, security dynamically pulls you aside for an extra bag check. In our Microsoft environment, this dynamic bag check is called conditional access, or CIA. It's this incredibly powerful engine built directly into Microsoft Entra ID. Conditional access evaluates real-time signals. It looks at who the user is, where they're logging in from, the health of their device, and their overall risk level. And based on those signals, it makes a split-second decision to grant access, completely block it, or just limit what they can do. When you're sitting down for the AB 900 exam, you've got to understand three key configuration areas for conditional access: user and group targeting, signed-in risk evaluation, and session controls. Let's quickly break down how each of these builds our security posture.
First up, user and group targeting. Look, not everyone in a company has the exact same risk profile. A summer intern probably shouldn't have the same security hurdles as the chief financial officer. User targeting lets administrators apply different levels of access control based strictly on roles or departments. For instance, you could build a policy that forces everyone in the finance group to use multi-factor authentication, MFA, every single time they access Exchange Online, while maybe applying a slightly more relaxed rule to the general staff.
Next is sign-in risk evaluation. This is super cool. It looks for anomalies using signals from Microsoft Defender for identity. Let's say a user logs in from their office in New York, right? And then just 10 minutes later, there's a login attempt for that exact same user from a country they've never even visited. That's what we call impossible travel. Entra ID instantly flags this sign-in as high risk. The conditional access policy catches that flag and can automatically block access entirely, or maybe prompt the user to reset their password right then and there before they can do anything else. Finally, we have session controls. This is for those times when you want to grant access, but you need to tightly limit what the user can actually do during that active session. Enforced through Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps, session controls are great for restricting activities on unmanaged devices. For example, you might allow a user to look at SharePoint Online from their home computer's web browser, but you apply a session control that completely disables their ability to download or print any of those documents. They can look, but they absolutely cannot take the data with them.
Section 4. Protecting corporate content. All right, now that we've secured the front door and the devices themselves, we have to protect the actual data. Imagine your HR department has different levels of physical classified folders. Some are open to all staff, some are just for HR managers, and maybe some confidential legal folders are designed to literally self-destruct after 7 years to comply with labor laws. This brings us to content protection, which is governed by Microsoft Purview. The first major tool here is sensitivity labels. These let organizations classify and protect data. An admin might create a sensitivity label called confidential legal. If a user slaps this label onto a Word document, that document is automatically encrypted, restricted so only the legal department can open it, and stamped with a big confidential watermark. It protects the data whether it's sitting safely on a hard drive or being emailed halfway across the globe.
Next, we have data loss prevention, or DLP. While sensitivity labels usually rely on users doing the right thing and classifying their own documents, DLP automatically inspects content to stop data leaks in their tracks. Let's say a well-meaning employee tries to email a spreadsheet packed with hundreds of employees' social security numbers to an outside vendor. A DLP policy will inspect that content, recognize the highly sensitive financial data, immediately block the email from going out, and pop up a notification to educate the user on exactly why that's a security violation.
The third pillar of content protection is retention policies. This is all about managing the actual life cycle of your data. For legal compliance, or honestly, just to keep storage costs down, you can set rules to preserve or delete content. For instance, labor laws might dictate that HR documents must be kept for exactly 7 years. Well, a retention policy applied to the HR SharePoint site ensures those documents are locked down and preserved for that exact time frame and then automatically deleted when the period expires. It keeps the organization perfectly compliant without anyone having to manually clean out old files.
Section 5. Monitoring policy deployment. You know, deploying all these fancy policies is fantastic, but deploying them without monitoring them? That's like hiring a highly trained security guard, setting up dozens of expensive cameras, and then literally never looking at the camera footage. Microsoft 365 gives admins distinct monitoring tools spread across the different administrative centers. If you want to investigate a data leak, you head to the Microsoft Purview portal for DLP alerts. If you need to figure out why a user was blocked from logging in, you check the Microsoft Entra Admin Center for sign-in logs. And if you need to check the health of a massive fleet of laptops, you look at the Intune reporting dashboards. A smart admin might track down unauthorized access to HR documents by correlating a DLP alert in Purview with sign-in logs from unmanaged devices over an Entra. It's like a giant puzzle coming together. Section 6. Implementation best practices.
Implementing these strict controls can be super disruptive if you don't do it right. Think of a sports team. You wouldn't completely rewrite the playbook and try out a brand new strategy during the championship game, right? No, you test it out in a scrimmage first. The Microsoft Learn module outlines some absolutely critical best practices that you need to know for the AB 900 exam. Always start with a pilot group. Testing a brand new conditional access policy on a small group prevents you from accidentally locking the entire company out of their email. Next, use the built-in templates. Microsoft provides pre-configured DLP templates for things like financial and health data, which saves you a massive amount of time building complex rules from scratch. Continually review your audit logs to find security gaps. And honestly, most importantly, educate your users. Because if they actually understand why a policy blocked their file transfer, they are much less likely to try and find some dangerous workaround. And that leads us to a final, absolutely vital concept: automation. Using tools like Power Automate, you can completely streamline your policy enforcement. You could build a workflow where a DLP trigger, like someone trying to share credit card numbers, automatically prompts Power Automate to send an urgent alert to the security team and instantly revoke that user's access. By unifying Entra, Intune, and Purview, you establish this incredibly solid, automated, zero-trust foundation. And as you gear up for the AB 900 exam, ask yourself, how can you confidently deploy advanced AI agents if the basic front doors to your corporate data are left wide open?